Believe it or not, GoPros are some of the best underwater cameras out there, and the newly released GoPro Hero 12 gives you the opportunity to capture some amazing underwater footage. Don't get me wrong, underwater video is probably the hardest to capture, but with the right settings, your video will look 10 times better than it did before. What's going on, guys? It's Ray here, and today we're going over the best settings for underwater use with the GoPro Hero 12. Now before we get into today's video, if you love underwater and adventure videos, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on. I've had the Hero 12 for about a full month now, and in that time I found which settings work the best in certain situations, and which settings in particular will allow for you to capture the best underwater video. So let's dive right into it with resolution and frame rate. First things first, most importantly, you need to turn on HDR video. You can do so right here on your Hero 12. This camera is the first GoPro to introduce this feature, and trust me when I say HDR makes a big difference. Now HDR does change the freedom you have with your settings just a little bit. Normally for underwater I would suggest 5.3K 60, but HDR does not allow that. My recommendation is to film in 4K 60. 60 frames per second will give you the option to slow down your footage while editing if you want. And 4K with HDR will make your videos pop. Now let's dive on deeper into your settings. Over the years, I feel like I've found the perfect underwater settings, and these next ones are very important for good video. Make sure to keep your shot in the 16:9 aspect ratio, have your field of view set on wide, and hypersmooth turned on. The next thing you can do is tune your white balance. This can help replace the role of a dive filter. If you're diving in blue water, feel free to crank up the red channel just a little bit like I am here. This will make the colors pop a lot more in your video. However, make sure you don't turn it all the way up though. Next, make sure your sharpness is on high. This is something I've tested a lot over the years, and I'll say that having your sharpness on high definitely makes a difference. Leave your color on natural, and everything else in your settings should be good to go. The settings you use for underwater video make a huge difference. It's a night and day difference between footage with bad settings and footage with the right settings. And all of these we just went over are overall the best for the Hero 12. Now let's take a break to talk about today's sponsor, Movavi. Movavi is hands down the best GoPro editing software. It has features like AI background removal, special effects, and amazing audio and color correction. This is the most complete editing software I have ever worked with, and what makes it so amazing is how easy it is to use. It's ridiculous. If you want to take your GoPro videos to the next level, go download Movavi Video Editor right now in the links I left down below. Now I also wanted to give you the best underwater photo settings and some other tips for amazing underwater video. Make sure your field of view for photos is set to wide for underwater, as well as your sharpness on high. And make sure you have your white balance set to the exact same you had it on for video. GoPros in general capture some really great photos, and with these settings you're letting your camera do all of the work, and you will get some awesome photos. When it comes to filming tips, first is to use some sort of mount or handle, most preferably an underwater light tray or selfie stick. If you're just holding your GoPro in your hands, then you're definitely doing it wrong. Next is what I believe to be the most important, and that is to take your time while diving. I can't tell you how many times I've been diving with people who are all over the place underwater. Now don't get me wrong, this is understandable, and this is how I used to be when I first started out. And that's because there's just so many different things underwater that we want to see and film. But the more you take your time, the better your shots will come out, and the more likely you are to see cooler marine life. Now if you want to know more underwater tips for the GoPro Hero 12, make sure to check out the last video where I went over underwater use with this camera. But that is going to wrap up today's video, but before you go, make sure to smash that like button, comment down below where you plan on using your Hero 12 next, and most importantly subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss out on awesome videos just like this one. I'm Ray Tiller, and I'll see you on the next video.